Everybody, it is Thursday, the 3rd. It is about, what is it, August 3rd, yeah. It's about 3 o'clock my time, and I know we were going to plan to have a hangout on getting some questions for the upcoming Fuzzron Bill Lolo discussion, but I think we're going to postpone that later on tonight or even tomorrow, because I think this is actually an important and new topic that I wanted to talk about today, because a lot of people have been kind of concerned about YouTube's new quote-unquote tougher standards and what that means and how does it apply to the Great Debate community and members of the Great Debate community. I've looked into this. I've read YouTube's blog post. I haven't really talked to a lot of people about it yet. I left a message with Godless Cranium because he has a video on this, and I thought about leaving a message to Logicked, but I know he's really busy. But he and a few other people have been migrating slowly all their videos over to other platforms. And I understand why they're doing it. It's a preventative, measure just in case there's some kind of YouTube apocalypse. But I'm reading the blog here, and we're going to go over it, and I want to see what you guys think of it. I don't think it's the end of the world as we know it, because I feel fine. I think that I understand why YouTube is doing this. It is for financial reasons because of the huge withdrawal of ad revenue that they had because of hate videos. This is
capitalism.
Yeah, it's capitalism, of course. They're business.
Damn you.
Yes, they're business. I mean, let's be real here. We got to face facts. So they have to do what they have to do in order to make a profit, because they're hemorrhaging. They are losing money. The steps that they seem to be taking, I don't personally have too much of an issue with, except of how they go about implementing it. Because one thing we all know, YouTube is not really good at explaining and implementing things. They're very spurious on how they do things. We've figured that out by now. So they're very vague, even though they say this is what how it is, but how they go about doing that, we never have a clue. I think it's targeted more toward anti-Semitic channels, homophobic channels, channels that solicit outright recruitment for things like neo-Nazism or is it ISIS, right? I think those are the channels that they're focusing on. However, it's one of those measures where even if they try to isolate those particular channels, they have bots, computer programs that literally search things out, algorithms, and they might target other channels. I mean, obviously look at channels like Site 10, very controversial channel. I love Site 10. I think he's one of the most brilliant commentators on YouTube, because he's so scathing.
You don't meet Bruggenkate, right?
No,
no.
Site 10 atheist. Site 10 atheist. So Bruggenkate is so irrelevant that I wouldn't even. Yeah, people have asked me for hey, are you gonna have Site 10 Bruggenkate on? I'm like, no. He says,
why would you want that clown on?
I wouldn't. Not at all.
Site 10 Bruggenkate versus Mr. Intelligent Design.
Oh no.
that would be the end of the world as we know it.
That'd be funny. Shoot, I'd like to see that.
Oh, somebody just put in the live feed. Will Von Helton become unreachable? Von Helton actually will be on my channel this Saturday, people.
Ooh, dude.
I'm not going to explain why. I'm not going to give you detail.
Man. Come on now.
Some major
things like this.
What's that?
Can't just tease us with things like this.
Oh, that's a tease. No, that's a tease. You don't know the work that I went into making this event happen on Saturday.
Okay.
At 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, Von Helton has said he'll be on my channel with some other people and to have a denouement, I think they call it in French, or a discussion.
Okay.
I am not going to be involved in it unless he wants me to. He will have mods, by the way. That'll be interesting. But I had to do a lot of negotiating to make that happen, but that's a side thing. We're going down a rabbit hole, which we always do because that's what we do. But somebody noted that in the live feed. I thought I'd throw that out there. What?
I'll have patience. Patience is a virtue unless you're not an objective morality person. It might not be one to you.
Now, I mean, I go way back with Vaughn. I mean, way back. So that's why I was able to pull some strings with him. But this is probably going to come back and bite me in the ass. Seriously. I'm having... and I'm having second thoughts, but I have reservations because I had to give him certain considerations and concessions in order to get him to do this. But again, if I've separated myself on and said, look, I'm just providing the channel, you and whoever else is coming in, which is going to be a couple people that I won't say, to have a discussion. This is going to be your guys' thing. I'm not going to be held responsible either way because I don't know what the hell it's about, to be honest with you. I just don't. I was asked to have a favor. I did a favor for some people. But anyways, we're getting off topic. So, which we always do, right? So
that never happens.
It never happens. Oh my God, this is why a 30-minute video turns into like 3 hours, right?
Yep.
But anyway, something about YouTube doing something that some people might find scary.
Yeah, the problem is that there might be some channels to be affected. Now, I cannot see for the life of me how some channels in the Great Community Network be affected. Obviously, we have controversy, but we are not advocating violence. We're not advocating, anything like insults toward a particular religion or hate speech by any stretch of imagination. Matter of fact, this channel is very much against all that stuff. I mean, we don't do hate speech. We just talk about stuff. I've seen other channels though that seem to be worried. Godless Cranium seems to be worried. He doesn't have hate speech on his channel. However, maybe the algorithm will consider it stuff. I don't know.
It depends on what you think hate speech is, because I'm very outspoken against certain things, and then people tell me I'm a bigot, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, fuck you, because I'm not.
Yeah, yours is a little more extreme than mine. I've watched your stuff. It is a little bit more controversial.
I don't know about what YouTube's going to be calling hate speech, but here in Canada, it's specifically things where you say things where you're inciting violence.
Yes.
Actually, in Canada, correct me if I'm wrong, Canada's hate speech is anytime you say something and you don't apologize for it.
Well, I would have been doing that for a lot of time by now, dude.
I am Dutch, and even I get the joke.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Continue on. I'm so sorry.
Actually, it's really funny. I just had some Muslim women call me out on my own page, and I started my rebuttal with "sorry, but." So
hate speech. She says Muslim.
Yeah, I know.
She said sorry. She's fine.
Yeah, she's sorry. Yeah,
exactly.
It is totally true though. When you say certain words, I don't know if they pick it up. I mean, if how these algorithms picking these things up unless they're obviously they get metadata, but do they actually like get verbal things too? If you say something Islamic or about Muslim,
I don't know. I have
no idea, right? I don't know.
That would be my thought, though, is like, okay, so if it's going to be reporting based, look at the clusterfuck that Facebook is, where you get people saying kill all the Jews, and somebody reports it, oh, well, that's okay, and then somebody says, I don't believe in Islamophobia, and they get their page taken down for a month. Like, that shit happens all the time because it's reporting based.
Well, I mean, all an algorithm has to do is search like, things in closed caption, right? The closed caption is done automatically, things to get a transcript. All it might hear you just have said was kill all the Jews. That's all it knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't know if it's that extreme. I have no idea. But
this is...
Go ahead.
It's problematic. Like, I understand that they may do that because of the sheer volume of material that has to be vetted, but you're looking at where's the level? Because if you start silencing people that are talking about nuance and why something, like if I say kill all the Jews and I say that's a horrible fucking thing to say, but they're going to kill what I've said because I said the horrible thing as an example. Like that's
right.
Just as bad.
As Apologia points out, during the processing, when you upload a video, the transcript is made.
Right.
They make a transcript.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't upload though. That's the thing. I don't upload. I'm always live.
And if you really want to have some fun, like go to like a True Peterson's video and read the closed caption. It's hilarious. It's a whole new video. It's funny.
Oh geez.
Wikipedia
closed captions.
Wikipedia defines hate speech as speech which attacks a person or group on the basis of attributes such as race, religion, ethnic origin, sexual orientation, disability, or gender.
Yeah, and I get that. But here's the problem. The line of demarcation is not there as far as the difference between hate speech and criticizing something. right? I have no problem, even though I am very anti people that are homophobic. I hate that crap. But if somebody says, "Look, I don't like gay people," that's their right. I don't give a crap.
Absolutely.
I say let social policy take care of them. Let the community take care of that stuff, because most people are not like that, and they kind of self-police. But I understand YouTube is a business, and they have to make revenue, and they have to they have to crack down. So I get that. But they've been so vague on how they're implementing this as far as what channels.
Just it. So if somebody wants to abide by whatever policy, if they don't tell you specifically how to go about abiding by that policy, you're just going to be rapping everybody on the knuckles all the time, and everybody's going to get pissed off that they have sore fingers.
Right. But here's the reality. And I know YouTube, I'm sorry if you ever listen to this, but it's true. They don't care about us. They don't care about the content creator. They don't care about the end user. Their only focus is the advertisers. That's it. And I understand that. Money. Yeah. But you know what? But if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have a platform at all. So I'm not criticizing YouTube for it. You hear that, YouTube? I'm not criticizing you. Don't strike me down.
Oh no, they are coming. The bots are coming.
Well, I was reading the blog, and we're going to go over the blog, and they have what's called trusted flaggers. Have you guys heard that before?
Oh,
yeah, no. That's not cool.
It's really, I don't know. It's like citizen police, right?
That's like a clusterfuck, like Facebook waiting to happen. Because if you
body snatchers.
Like, if you can get, 100 people to all go and report somebody at the same time, doesn't matter if they're following the rules or not, they're going to be fucked at least for a period of time. And if that's part of their livelihood, well, then now you've screwed them over for their piece of the pie solely because you don't like what they say, not because they actually did anything against the rules.
Yeah, and here's the thing with this new policy. By the way, the link is in the Great Debate community. But if you ask me for it, I will send it to you, Joe. I'm getting the link right now. I know we have a lot of people watching, and I will give anybody the link who wants to come in. Oh wait, what'd you say? Refresh my memory again, because I just got.
Oh, I was just saying that it's if you have sort of trusted people who get to report, well, they can abuse that so easily. If they just, blast a group and get 100 people to go report it, it won't matter if that person getting reported is following the rules or not. They've got this avalanche of people that say, I don't like what you said, so YouTube, take it down. That's not cool.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because it's not so much if it's against the rules. YouTube has pointed out that some of these new policies are specifically targeted to channels and videos that are not breaking the rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole new policy for things where they're not breaking the rules, but it's still controversial enough where they want to basically not promote the channel, not allow comments on the channel.
Oh,
basically neuter the particular video.
Steve, right? A quick thing. Someone posted the link in the live chat. Is it allowed now?
No, don't post a link in the live chat, please.
Brian Stevens, please remove that.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. Never post a open link in a live chat.
Yeah.
The lesson that true empiricism will never learn.
Yeah, well, and also he doesn't. I don't understand how Trump doesn't understand how to use cameraman.
Yeah, but
seriously.
Something else that I actually just read this afternoon that kind of bothered me, and it regards YouTube as well. Apparently, a lot of social platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and whatnot, they've started to do something where if, let's say, I want to do research and I want to watch some actual ISIS videos. So if somebody searches for ISIS videos or anti-Semitic shit or whatever, they will actually redirect you to content that counters what it is you are looking for.
Right. That's one of the things that they're automating.
Yeah, and like now I get their point. They're trying to combat radicalization. So they're trying to say, well, some kid who wants to find out what's so glorious about ISIS, they don't want them to see that. Okay, I understand that, but you're telling me what I'm not allowed to see, and that kind of pisses me off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of
wish-
agree with that.
I wish they did the same with flat Earth. When I Google or when I YouTube search flat Earth, I always get these like very weird videos about stupid flat Earthers and not debunking videos. You need very specific. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but if you are doing research on something, let's say I do want to watch a video to make my own video against ISIS, and I want to find an ISIS video to get research thing out of it. That makes it much more difficult.
Exactly.
I totally agree with that. But it is, again, their platform. But I think if they're going to provide a platform and a service where people can index things, that index has to work properly.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, yeah, they made a post about it, but it's not widely publicized. So let's say I want to find out why, like, I already think, ISIS is horrible. And let's say I want to show my little kid sibling why it's terrible because they've joined a mosque and they think it's great. You're preventing me from accessing that, even though you're preventing the vulnerable people from seeing it, you're preventing the people that also want to fight it from using that content in a preventative manner ourselves. And you're treating me like a child as if I'm gonna go join ISIS if I see a fucking video, right.
And I think they're giving too much empowerment to people that I don't think are trusted.
Exactly.
Like, for example, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. I don't think they're that great of an organization. I think they've gone too extreme, too radicalized themselves.
Exactly.
Who polices the police?
And then if people don't realize that that's what's happening, and they start Googling, oh, I want to find out about anti-Semitism, and all they see is rhetoric against anti-Semitism, well, then they're like, oh, well, that's not a problem anymore. I don't need to do anything. Jews are awesome, and everybody thinks so. Yay. And that's not a proper narrative either. You're skewing reality.
And how does certain things
there is also
anti-rhetoric? Because, hang on one second, we have had videos that were anti-rhetoric, hate, but the way they did it was using extreme messages. I mean, look at Site 10, right? Site 10 is everything you can imagine of somebody who hates things like bigotry and homophobia. He is just so turned off by those things. But when he makes these videos, I mean, they're in your face, right? And in a computer program, or an idiot from some of these leagues, they might not understand that. They're like, oh, well, this is just another form of hate speech.
Exactly.
Right? That's the problem that I see.
Yeah. And people that don't understand satire.
Yeah, and I love satire. But look, for example, like Paul Gia's channel.
Yes.
Paul Gia channel may come off to somebody as going, oh, well, he's hating on young Earth creationists. Well, no, he's not by any stretch of imagination. He's maybe hating on the science. I think we all do that, but that's not a protective thing. But they're informative videos. But if some young Earth creationist goes, oh, I'm feeling like I'm being persecuted against this, I want my safe space. I don't know how YouTube is going to incorporate those things.
And if they get 100 of fellow creationists together and go, look, persecution, well, then Pelagia could get screwed.
and that's literally the concern, right? That these channels that are not even level to moderate. I mean, even Apology is not even a moderate channel. There's nothing controversial about Apology's channel, in my opinion.
Not at all.
It's just scientifically controversial because we know he's putting out good science, and other people are not. If they want to call that controversy, sure, whatever. But that's nothing to the level of standard that I've read from the official YouTube blog. What they're trying to implement has nothing to do with that kind of stuff that I've seen. It is strictly towards hate speech, anti-Semitic speech, recruitment videos, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And specifically with the younger creation stuff, that can be seen almost as they can try to play that card, and they can use it as like an attack on religion because it's so closely tied to Christianity. Like how many younger creationists are you going to point to who are actually like, you know, atheists or whatnot?
Yeah.
So do you guys want to go over this blog real quick?
Sure.
I mean, for those who haven't seen it, I will share,
Sure.
I guess.
Then we can share our thoughts.
But somebody's going to have to read this because my voice is already shot.
And I haven't read it yet, so. Are you screen sharing?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Sure.
I'll happily read if you want.
Yeah, you have that lovely voice. Yeah.
Can you zoom in a bit so that the people in the live chat can also read it? Yes, like that. Yeah, good.
There you go. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, it suits my eyes. An update on our commitment to fight terror content online, Tuesday, August 1st, 2017. A little over a month ago, we told you about the 4 new steps we're taking to combat terrorist content on YouTube. Better detection and faster removal, driven by machine learning. More experts to alert us of content that needs review. Tougher standards for videos that are controversial but do not violate our policies. And more work in the counterterrorism space. We wanted to give you an update on these commitments. Better detection and faster removal driven by machine learning. We always use a mix of technology and a human review to address ever-changing challenges around controversial content on YouTube. We recently began to develop and implementing a cutting-edge machine learning technology designed to help us identify and remove violent extremism and terrorism-related content in a scalable way. We have started rolling out these tools, and we're already seeing some positive progress. Speed and efficiency. Our machine learning systems are faster and more effective than ever before. Over 75% of the videos we've removed for violent extremism over the past month were taken down before receiving a single human flag. Accuracy. The accuracy of our system has improved dramatically due to our machine learning technology. While these tools aren't perfect, and aren't right for every setting, in many cases our systems have proven more accurate than humans at flagging videos that need to be removed. Scale. With over 400 hours of content uploaded to YouTube every minute, finding and taking action on violent extremist content poses a significant challenge. But over the past month, our initial use of machine learning has more than doubled both the number of videos we've removed for violent extremism as well as the rate at which we've taken this kind of content down. We're encouraged by these improvements and will continue to develop our technology in order to make more progress. We're also hiring more people to help review and enforce our policies, and will continue to invest in technical resources to keep pace with these issues and address them responsibly.
Okay, so let's check that. Yeah, let's check that out real quick. See, they're implementing this now, but their systems have been in place for a while, and the reason I know this is because I have had a few videos that got demonetized. I have fought every single one of them and won, except for one that I didn't fight. Because one, I wasn't in that particular hangout the entire time, and I don't know what was in it. I let somebody else run it. But it happens to mention Sharia law in the title. Okay, in the title, it just has something to do with Sharia law, and it was demonetized for that. Whether the people in the hangout were advocating, against it, hate speech, I have no idea. Of course, I don't think they were. I know they weren't. But an algorithm may not be able to detect that. And I didn't want it reviewed because I didn't know what was in it. I didn't want to watch 8 hours of it, and it was only at 500 views or something. But still, the algorithm demonetized it because it was talking about Sharia law.
It would be more than a single word hit, though, Steve.
Well.
It'll be a point scoring matrices.
But that's what the video was about, right? I'm sure there was more to it, but again, I didn't want to take the chance of challenging it because then you get a strike if you challenge it and you're wrong, kind of thing. But
really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. But I didn't want to do. I didn't want to. Like I said, it was only 500 views. Not worth it. Nobody's ever go back and watch that particular video. I'm not losing anything by demonetizing. It wasn't worth the chance of challenging it. Like I knew the other ones were fine. I had no doubt in my mind, right? So I was fine with challenging them. But here's the system where you have an algorithm that basically I think will be tied in to the closed caption. Would you think that's probably how they're doing it?
They've got voice recognition mechanisms now as well. It's you've got to remember the sort of the compute power behind Google and what they're actually doing and the actual development work they're doing at the moment. It's the fact that it's basically a system of metadata scraping. So they are collecting vast amounts of information across vast amounts of data. They're pulling that back as hash value objects, and that's when they start to get into the mathematical algorithms of then categorizing, and they'll have a point scoring system sitting behind it. And once you reach X number of points, that's when they'll say, okay, you're in a flagging category or a review category or whatever.
Okay. Now, I don't know if we need to read. No, you're right. I don't think we need to read the next part. But basically, when they talk about their experts, they're talking about the Anti-Defamation League, the No Hate Speech Movement, and the Institute for Strategic Dialogue. I don't know about the other two, but I do know ADL. Like I said, I think they're an extremist organization themselves. I think that they do not have the competency to determine between hate speech and criticism.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a problem. But I don't see how anybody from any of these groups could look at anybody like this video in particular and say, oh, that's hate speech. Clearly, nothing in this video is hate speech. Or apology is, and say, oh, that's not, that's nothing other than hate speech. Or Godless Cranium or Logicked, any of those guys. I don't see how anybody that has a functional working brain that's not a flat earther could look at any of these videos and say that they're hate speech. Now, I can understand things like Scientific Atheists. I can see how people, I totally get that, because you really have to appreciate his satire. It's not for everybody, but how do you? I mean, do you think that these channels like Logicked and Godless Cranium, who I don't think this channel is controversial at all. I mean, but do you think any of them have a reason to be concerned? Or how about Holy Kool-Aid? Is he promoting speech against Christianity? Of course not. But how does the algorithm know that?
I think the trouble is when you're not just looking at words, but you're looking at intonation and how it's said, and that I think is where there is a disconnect between the technology and the way they're trying to do it and the actual video content. And that's supposed to be where the human review comes in. If there's already an overtly PC bias, then you've got a problem, haven't you? Because you've already got a weighted review system.
Yeah, because I mean, I get very emotional when I get talking about stuff that pisses me off on my channel. So if I'm talking about, atheist activists who are getting killed in Bangladesh by Muslim extremists, my voice is going to go because that pisses me the fuck off. So, but I'm maybe I'm hating on extremists, but I really don't give a fuck. If they're killing people, there's all of that. But just to go by my voice, again, you're going to catch me saying things against what they're actually against, but they may read that completely wrong because I'm being animated about it. Right.
So what about when you have a human review, though? Obviously, a person's not going to come in and watch 8 hours of a video, of an 8-hour hangout.
Yeah.
Like mine are 2 or 3 hours. It's still pretty long, though. I don't do the 8 hours often any longer. But the 2 or 3 hour hangouts, they're not going to be able to watch that. So do they get like a report, like a copy of the closed captioning with things highlighted?
Yeah.
Like these computers say, oh, look, we need to, check out this paragraph here and have this highlighted and,
Or go to a certain time point in the video would at least be useful.
A timestamp with a highlighted phrase, like you say, kill all the Jews. Is that going to be highlighted at 20 minutes in? Somebody says, hey, go kill all the Jews. By the way, YouTube, I'm Jewish, so I don't advocate that because that would suck. I love Jews. I'm Jewish. Okay, so whatever. I want to clarify that just in case this is going to be.
Bring me my lacquer now.
You don't even keep kosher.
I know. I don't. I know. I'm a bad cultural Jew.
Just don't comment on it.
It's a sounding for the goyim. One person knows what that means. I'm a really bad Jew.
Steve, no shrimp, no coral.
We all know what it means. Goyim is the plural tense for us non-Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually is an expression that basically means don't air your Jewish dirty laundry in front of the Gentiles. Basically.
Yeah.
Goy and goyim are Yiddish words, correct? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, it is Yiddish. I know like Kepler. My mom used to teach me that Kepler means head in Yiddish. But like Paul G says, he's saying how are they going to work with Hangouts? They don't do transcripts on the fly. No, but they do the transcripts when the Hangout gets uploaded and processed.
Sorry,
Right.
does that mean the Kepler telescope then was a long object that was ahead? Sorry. Random thought, don't worry about it. It's like...
Random thought. Just flying by.
Let it go.
Yeah. And like I said, I do understand why people are migrating to different platforms for their videos. I mean, if something happens to their channel, all your videos are gone. You're just SOL. And I get that. People spend a lot of time on videos. I mean, I wouldn't even know what to do if all my videos were, you know. But I'm not going to sit there and download all my videos and re-upload to something else. I have 450 videos. I mean, that's just
Well, I think there needs to be a better arbitration process for, you know, certainly for people that have, I mean, my stuff is all hobby stuff and, you know, the vast majority of it's private. So no one ever gets to see it apart from people in the group. But, you know, for people that are doing it and, you know, and they have the Patreon and it's part of their livelihood, I think there needs to be a much better arbitration process. Because I think a lot of people screw up on the rules without realizing they're screwing up on the rules.
Yeah. And like, I've never had to go through anything with YouTube, thankfully, but my understanding is it's kind of painful and really difficult to understand even what's going on, so.
It is,
Well,
and I feel like it actually affects different types of channels. Like, I don't think you guys have to worry too much about it, because I think what they're mainly targeting is not even just terrorism stuff, but more stuff in the type of videos that I like to watch, my type of topic, which is like the social commentary stuff. I think those are the people that really have to worry about what they say and all that they're probably trying to fight secretly without them actually saying they're trying to fight those kind of people. But you guys specifically, I think you guys will be okay, because you're kind of, no offense, but kind of on the underbelly.
Yeah, we're first of all, we're not big league, and two, we don't really say that much controversial stuff because we're not anti these things. I mean, if we're anti anything, we're anti bad science, we're anti stupidity, we're anti bad arguments, but that's not what YouTube's looking at. They don't give a crap about that. They want people that are saying things that advertisers are going to say, you know what, I don't want to advertise on that particular channel. That's their concern, right? So the tougher standards, they even stand here. We'll soon be applying tougher treatment to videos that aren't illegal, but have been flagged by users, or, you know, it's not just users, or by the system, as potential violations of our policies of hate speech and violent extremism. Well, okay, violent extremism, I don't think there's anything ambiguous about that, right? I mean, we know what violent extremism is. If you watch an ISIS video that's recruiting people and saying, you know, death to Israel, whatever, that's violent extremism. Yeah. I get that. Ban that. I mean, well, don't promote it, whatever. I mean, whatever you.
Yeah, so what's wrong with that? I don't see what all the fuss about these new YouTube things are.
Well, so far, I'm not really having a problem with YouTube's trying to do. That's my point. I understand the need for it. The problem I only have is they're vague in their implementation of it, and there could be fallout on channels that this is not applicable to. Right? Yeah. And like hate speech. What are they considered to be hate speech? We have people come in here.
Exactly.
Like, for example, we have people come in here, and I'll let them rant for a little while. I mean, I don't like a lot of it, but let's say somebody is homophobic, and they want to come in and they say some homophobic stuff. That's not indicative of the entire channel. That's not indicative of the panel. But somebody might be listening going, oh, that 30 seconds they listen to, these people are advocating hate speech against gays or something. Right? Yeah. Because they don't have the big picture. That's what I'm concerned about.
Right. Yeah, exactly. and the other thing, I think Heretic brought up an excellent point earlier on, which is if you drive all this shit underground, then it's not challenged, and people think it's okay. You think people think things are better, and I really believe that's true. You know, I really dislike the alt-right people I engage sometimes with.
I told you,
I really do.
Yeah.
But you know, I much prefer that they get to say what they say in open, so I know the shitheads are out there.
Yeah, see, it does bug me they're doing this mainly because the whole free speech thing. I wish that even people I don't like or disagree with, I still think they should have the right to their platform.
Absolutely.
And this makes me feel like it might be censoring almost, like, shoot, almost everybody from all walks of life, depending on what they say.
Well, and this idea that free speech, you know, it's a fine line because, you know, free speech is government oriented, right? So free speech is I can say what I want and not go to jail for it. And we often get confused when a public space like YouTube or Facebook or whatever, they implement standards that might be stricter than legal free speech. And it's, you know, they have a right to do that, even though we feel constrained by that. So it's a very fine line, because we kind of have this feeling that, you know, we should be able to say anything everywhere, which I actually think we should. We should. Right. But these places are private entities that are allowing us to use their forum, their platform. So it's frustrating as hell. And I do believe that both Facebook and YouTube needs to be a little more open about what the friggin' process is, because how the fuck do you not get yourself flagged if you don't really know what's going to get you flagged? You know, like that's
there's so many channels that don't get flagged and stuff, and they kind of send out mixed signals. Like, so wait, this guy's able to do this, so does that mean I can do it? Oh, I'm actually not technically allowed to do it. Then how come this guy's getting away with it and stuff like that?
And as far as not like challenging things, did you guys ever watch Adam Carolla go in front of Congress? And so we had posted this the other day, and I watched it. It was brilliant. He went in front of Congress, and he was explaining to Congress in his own comedic way that when college campuses are preventing people from coming on and speaking, like they recently did with Richard Dawkins, because of his Islamic views, which big shocker. But he said, if you isolate these students, they're not going to be inoculated to the real world. It's kind of like not letting your kids play in dirt and not get exposed to germs. They live in an isolated bubble. When they get to the real world, they're like, what the hell happened? And they turn into these radical SJWs that don't have a freaking clue about anything and are super sensitive to little snowflakes, right? You have to expose controversial ideas and let the system work to have a policy where people can come together and refute some of these things intellectually wise. I mean, there are ways of handling discourse. That's why I like the great debate community. To me, that's what we do. But
discourse like to grow.
Yeah, but you have to confront it. You have to confront it.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, it will fester. People have say, well, why are you allowing Kid Hovind to forum? Well, because if you don't, it festers.
That's right. And the more you bring on smart people that over and over prove that his stuff is complete bullshit, then you take away that ignorance one little bit at a time. You know what I mean? And you can't do that if the stuff is hidden away and like you said, festers underground, because these assholes aren't going anywhere if we ignore them and pretend that they don't exist, because then they cluster together and where people can't see them. And like, look, I'm sorry, look at America, right? Nobody knew how many bigoted assholes there were in America until, 45 there made it okay to be one, and suddenly they're springing out of the woodwork everywhere, and it's like, holy shit, where did that come from? And you have to realize it was always there, we just hidden it away.
A psychopath atheist makes a good point earlier that most of his videos are unmonetizable, right? And psychopath atheist is clearly not a racist, but no offense to psychopath, he does have a lot of racist on his channel, in his live feed especially. He doesn't really open it up too much, but Psychopath deals with a lot of racist. But he himself is not racist, so that means his channel won't get promoted if he ever did monetize, or his videos are unmonetizable. That to me seems to be an issue, right? Because here's somebody who is very much against racism, but all they're going to see is the people that he deals with, because he has a lot of racist friends. But that's not the intent of the channel, right? His channel is he wants to end racism.
Exactly. But you're penalized. He's going to get penalized because of the content that he's trying to show is reprehensible in the first place.
Right. Like response channels and that are going to have a tough time, I think. Like that's why I said the social commentary.
But I am seeing now. I'm also very much active in the podcasting sphere, which is a lot different than the YouTube sphere, because where people do podcasting, there is no monetization for the most part. Most people were already dependent on Patreon or platforms like that. So I'm more familiar with people trying to make a living that way than monetization through individual content on a place like YouTube. And I think that may have to be kind of the future.
Well, the monetization adds up. I mean, I know people like Logicked says, you know, I get his tweets and I listen to him, and he, you know, he's like, well, I don't make that much off YouTube monetizations. Well, what he considers being not a lot would be like my high end. I would be loving to make what he makes off monetization, you know? You know,
but he's also got, you know, a family and probably mortgage and all of that. And I'm sure it doesn't go that far. Yeah.
Right. And it's all relative, right? I totally understand that, right?
Because for me, what he makes would probably be great because my husband already has a full-time income. We don't have a mortgage. We don't have to worry about that shit. So that would probably be like woohoo for me too. But I mean, right now it's what
do they call it? What is it when you have like your free money? What do they call that? You're like when you're paying everything off and it's
you're mad money.
No, there's another name for it. You're oh my goodness. I can't think of the term.
Disposable income?
Disposable, yes, thank you. Disposable. I got a B in macroeconomics. This is why I didn't get an A. Yes, disposable income.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hated that class. Worst class on the planet. Don't ever take it. Seriously, it makes no sense. It's magic. Yeah, it really is. I'm telling you, there's little supply demand curves. Totally magic. Nobody gets it. It's voodoo.
It's all right.
Yeah, sorry, off topic.
That never happens. Jeez. Well, it's been 45 minutes.
I would like to say to any American listeners, the universities in the UK are fantastic, and you will learn the meaning of disposable income if you do economics.
Yay! Yeah, see, America.
Woo.
Yeah.
Ours are pretty good. Ours are good that way too, actually.
Hey, we're about to Brexit, so I'm after any international cash I can get my hands on.
Hey, go for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going through the roof, man. You know?
Yeah, I've got a friend who's actually buying a house thanks to Bitcoins. He put £3,000 or £4,000 in when it first started.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's gone insanely high.
Yeah, I think. And well, he's looking for quite a nice house in quite a nice city in the UK.
So, do you guys think of any other channel that might be affected by this? How about I know this is going to be extremist, but how about Talking Shit Tuesday? Would that consider to be controversial?
So again, I mean, it depends on how they're doing the categorization. And I think that's what they need to actually expose is how,
what is hate speech to them.
Yeah, well, just really what are they using as their definable search terms? How are they scraping the content? So people actually understand how to stay within the rules.
And that's the problem. They're very vague on that, right? They just I don't know what when they define hate speech, they could apply that so ubiquitously toward any channel that criticizes or dare criticize anything, right? Called it Dusty, Amazing Atheist, Drunken Peasants. Paul Joy points out some of those. And somebody has mentioned Jordan Peterson. His channel was recently removed. By the way, somebody asked me to reach out to Jordan Peterson the other day. I don't remember. I think it was Adblocker. I have no idea why I would. I know who he is. It wouldn't be something I would be particularly interested in. But whatever.
No other social issues loves in here except for reading them.
Yeah, atheism is stoppable. He hasn't done anything for a while, has he? Apology, I mentioned.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, well, I see, but I could see people saying atheism is stoppable has hate content, Nazi content. It's there. I could even see that with him. If I had to place money on it, that if he was racist or into Nazism, I would say probably there's a high probability of that, even though he denies it. But look at his videos; it's a lot. It just seems I even, like I said, I even look at it and go, yeah, I think this guy has some issues, right?
I think he goes out of his way to be politically incorrect to make a point.
I don't think he does it effectively then, because Side 10 does it effectively. Nobody would ever question Side 10 and say, "Oh, Side 10 atheist is racist or into Nazism." Nobody would ever say that. You have to be an idiot to say that, right?
That's the point. Because sometimes people exaggerate their opinions, and it is kind of hard to tell sometimes with some of these social commentary channels when they're just being hyperbolic because of language, or sometimes they actually do.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is a problem. Because I like satire. I like over-the-top shit.
Oh, I do too.
I really do. I think if it's done well, and you're doing polemics, and you're doing a sophistry, I enjoy that if it's done well.
Well, I'm not even talking satire.
I love the Jonathan Swift type, right? A modest proposal. That one of the greatest things I ever read.
Well, I'm not
right? I like that. I really did.
I don't even mean satire, but even times when people are just talking like in hyperbole, sometimes that can be taken.
Yeah, like well, it's like the other day I was debating some twit on Facebook about abortion, and he was like, "Oh, baby killer, baby killer, baby killer," and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, buddy." But somebody who's uber sensitive could be like, "Oh, hate speech," or some shit like that.
Well, you guys aren't kidding. Dr. Jordan Peterson has 5,000 Patreons. You know what his? If you guys don't look at the live feed, do you guys know what his Patreon a month is? Don't look at live feed. If you already looked, don't say it. Anyone want to guess?
No. Oh,
yes. Okay, here. What do you think Dr. Jordan Peterson makes a month off Patreon?
I'm not even sure who he is, to be honest.
He's that professor that teaches psychology.
That guy. You know what? I actually already know what he makes, so I should say.
Yeah. So anybody want to guess?
I would guess it's about what, 5,000 a month.
Times that by 10.
You're joking.
50 grand.
56,211 a month. I just looked it up.
Yep.
56,000
the name escaped me
for Patreon alone. That's not even including his income from being a professor. He makes $56,000 a month simply because he refuses to use pronouns for transgenders.
Yep.
Wow. We are in the wrong thing here, guys. I'm telling you, we need to get into social stuff.
And the sad thing is that's in fucking Canada. We're responsible for that shit.
Wow.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
You know what? We should do that.
That's embarrassing as fuck.
We'll split the GDC into two parts. We'll have the SJWs and the anti-SJWs.
I'll just cheer you up quickly. Trump.
Okay, thank you.
But then we're just gonna go head to head and feed off each other, right? People will be like all pro transgender, and then other people like anti-transgender. We're just like kind of have a clash. $56,000 a month.
You actually posted something in Google Plus where you said I wouldn't mind, trying out the political thing for a while. So if you need somebody to help manage the social issues.
Oh no, that's been shot down. Like that's dead. That's dead in the water. That's DOA. Yeah, the overwhelming response to that was like not only just no, but it was fuck no. But it's okay. I mean, I at least got it out there because look at people have asked, why don't we have this? Now we realize that nobody wants this really. Nobody wants to inject politics in the GDC. I understand the reasoning for it.
Maybe you can make a new community, an offshoot or something.
Pew Review is looking into some option like that, like the GDC extended or GDC politics as a separate community itself.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I mean, they even though the name is trademarked, they can use it for that. I don't care. But I would have no interest in that. I don't think. Right. That's why I was like not.
Well, I mean, with the whole social issues thing, that's just more of my forte. Some of these science and stuff like that, I just don't know a whole lot about. As you guys probably already know.
Well, I got to tell you, you did a great job in moderating those things on the GDC community page. I think you've done exceptionally well.
Notice how much is actually able to contribute, though. There's just not a whole lot I know. I like the subjects from a simple layman's point of view. I have a genuine interest in them. I look up some extra stuff that high school won't tell me. But other than that, so I'm not really.
Yeah, but you're able to deal with Matt. That's in itself.
Yeah, he's a piece of work.
I can't deal with him. You can't, Christian.
I can't.
I can't.
How can you not, man? Well, can I say it's easy? But...
Well, here's the thing. It's like he just wants to have a fight. One time, in a few minutes, apparently I'm on his side. The next, then he's just insulting me for some things, and then when I say, calm down, bro, he goes like, I'm not your bro. Get that to your head.
Oh my goodness. Funny thing was
it's how I cheer Americans up. I say, you may have Trump, but we unfortunately have Matt, the rational theist.
Yeah.
But Matt can't start World War III.
Matt is officially on my troll list, just so you'll know.
Oh, don't be like Darwin's deity.
Nah. Too late. He made me who I am.
Now you have
the man that you are today.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask details on that, by the way.
Speaking of which, Darwin's is the one that's on my troll list as well.
He's been so incontroversial or irrelevant in the community because he has just been sitting in Discord, listening, doing nothing. Nobody even talks about Darwin's anymore. I mean, in fact, even Darwin's Greatest Hits doesn't even post on Darwin's anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
By the way, Thaddeus, did you get the thing I sent?
Where?
Your hangout in your chat.
Oh, just in my chat. No, I didn't see it.
Hmm.
But have you guys noticed that it's not just Darwin's that's not really saying anything? I mean, look at like Antonio Fletcher, no commentary at all. He dropped out. All he does is post Carlson Tucker videos.
Commentary before, but he doesn't do hangouts so much.
He doesn't do anything, and then Drew Pearce is all he does is sit and monologue for like 3 hours. After it takes 5 times to do it. I've never seen anybody have so many false starts in a video in my life.
I'm still wondering if he's going to respond to the podcast I made on him.
Probably not.
No, and I liked your podcast you made on him. It was good.
Well, it's not just, I don't know which one you're talking about because there was
video
two.
You made, the one you made on YouTube that I watched.
Right, there's 2 of them. There was the one where just my general thoughts, and then there was a podcast I did called Kent Hovind is Not Awesome. That was my reply to his video on that lasted an hour. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're the only reason they're just building up Kent because they've got nothing better. They have no arguments anymore. None of them have ever watched these debates, I don't think. No one I don't think any of these people have fully seen or known Kent either. They just know the young Earth creationist side, but they don't know him in full detail.
Right. And by the way, we have it on pretty decent authority, I guess, that Mary has left him. So
I keep hearing that too, that she moved out a little while ago already.
Here's the way to validate this. I had heard she had called the police. There has to be a record of that.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah, and if she, and of course, if she files for divorce, that has to be public record as well. But you know, I know.
I think we should leave his personal life out of it. I mean, that's his shit.
I agree to an extent. However, there are certain things because of his complete narcissistic type personality that we do discuss. Some of these things do come into play about his credibility, his ability to. I mean, he's a cult leader, right? And if he's a cult leader, at that point, I think you lose a lot of limits we self-impose on other people, right? If I disagree with like heretic woman, I'm not going to go after her family, right? I'm not going to talk about her husband or her kids. I'm just going to say heretic. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. Hate your hair color. Whatever, right? I'm kidding. I love it.
No, Steve. You go for the tattoos because she's got a lot of pride and there's a lot of time in that.
I love her tattoos. No,
but I didn't draw that stuff. I just paid for it.
Yeah, so she's not the artiste.
No, but you chose it, and every tattoo has.
But you see what I mean? Though we don't go after family in the Greek community, right? That's completely off limits, and I think that should be that is policy. But when you're a cult leader, I think there are things that are brought up. Like for example, when we watch videos like Kent Hovind talking about him beating the crap out of who was it? It wasn't Eric, was it? Maybe it was one of them. I was like, holy crap. He's literally saying he abused his child on camera.
Exactly. Because they don't see it as abuse, but
right. Yeah, this was not like a paddle.
Get on that. Shoot.
You didn't hear that? You didn't watch that video?
Like if I went on and I was talking about, I kicked the crap out of my cat because it peed somewhere, then yeah, you have every right to be like, you fucking bitch animal abuser.
really
would
went
probably
down.
be quite frank about that. Yeah.
I didn't know
exactly.
about 3 kids. Is that true? I didn't know anything about he said he had 3 kids. He had 3 kids that passed away.
Oh, geez, I hadn't heard about that.
That was news to me. I knew nothing about that. Did you guys listen to that in the last video, in the last debate? He said, he has 3 kids that are in heaven. Then he has 3 kids that are on earth, like 3 kids that passed away. I didn't know what he meant by that because I had no idea. But I'm pretty hip on his past and Hovind, so I don't.
You've also got to remember that, you know, on average, 50% of pregnancies may not. Don't.
You think they might have been like
self-terminate?
Oh, you're right.
That's okay. Very possible because he would see that as that was a child.
Yes.
That I lost.
Yeah, they might have been miscarriages or something.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that would have a funeral for a stillborn for sure.
I mean, I'd still kind of seen him as alive too.
Yeah, no, and I don't have a problem with people doing that. It's closure.
Exactly. But that would fit more within his mindset that he would call that. You know, I lost a child. Most people would say I had a miscarriage or we had a miscarriage. Him saying I lost a child fits more within his mindset.
Yeah, see, all I'm concerned about, I don't want a funeral if I die. The only thing I care about is everything goes to my daughter and somebody wipes my hard drive. That's it. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about. Okay, so. Oh man, we do have a lot of people watching right now. If anybody wants to join us, the link is in the Great Big Community, or just ask me for it. I've been trying to pay attention and nobody's really been asking me. But you know, we have room for 5 people in here, and we had like 70 people watching. So
they're all trying to figure out what's in your history now that you need deleted so badly.
On this computer, nothing, because I have kept this computer pristine. Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. There is nothing on that computer.
Because you checked.
He's like logging in right now. You want to log in? I'll give you the IP.
Got a laptop with your IP address. It's all right, man.
Yeah, that folder that says "not porn," it really is not porn.
Okay.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's why if I ever had any content that I thought wasn't suitable for my children, I'd have it on an encrypted folder. You got to put a password to get in there. If you're gonna have stuff like that on your machine, and you want to protect kids,
porn is not a good password.
A lot of kids can crack that stuff now. I wouldn't trust a kid
cracking that stuff, right?
I wouldn't trust a kid with just encryption and a password. Hell no.
Anyways, that's we can quit talking about Steve's stuff.
Back on topic real quick. I'm further reading down this official blog. This line right here really kind of sums up to me. It says, although we've taken significant steps over the last month to fight against online terrorism, but this is not the end. Online terrorism. This is what I think their focus is trying to prevent. Right.
Right.
We do not fall under that. Godless Cranium doesn't fall under that. Logicked does not fall under that. Even Site 10 doesn't even remotely fall under that. So I just don't think that this apocalyptic approach to this policy is warranted right now. I know Logicked is really upset about it, and you know, I get that. But I don't want to be naive on this, but I don't think it's that big a deal at this point.
As I say, it's purely down to how they're doing the scoring system. That's what it comes down to. And if they get it right, machine learning actually works very, very well.
Probably better than probably does work better than a person.
It is quite scary shit. I use it for security. And if someone gets a hit, so say for instance you use the same overall arching system that I use, and something invades your network and starts to encrypt drives and stuff, that system that says, oh shit, that's come through, will then report back to the cloud, and it tells everybody else what's happened. So if that then tries to infect your network, it bounces. this is how good this stuff is getting. It is really kind of cool.
Okay, and I agree with you there, but let me run this past you guys. Well, I don't really want to go into too much about what's going on Von Helton coming in, but this is needless to say, Von Helton has accused people of being terrorists before. Okay, certain channels of being terrorist. If he flags a channel and says, this is a terrorist channel, then what? And you know how Von Helton is. I mean, he's nuts. Let's be realistic here. But then what happens if people start going around saying, hey, you know what? This channel is promoting terrorism.
Well, this is where I think they're going to be scoring. This is what should happen in a system, is they should be scoring that against the machine learning intelligence that they've scraped the data from to say, does our metadata agree with this accusation? And if there's an inconsistency there, that's where they should actually have some arbitration or human review.
Yes, I think you're right on that. Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing that's going to be interesting is the whole, I guess, YouTube's version of the hate speech dilemma and how seriously people are going to take that, or if they just get triggered by something and they might label it as hate speech, and you see a whole bunch of social commentary channels disappearing. So,
well, let's say they have a channel that's saying that's against transgenders and saying, oh, there's only binary sexes, trans people, or just mental or whatever. Is that going to be considered hate speech?
Well, you'd hope so, but there's some channels
that really though. Is it really hate speech? Now, I am against that. I mean, I'm against it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's stupid. But is it really hate speech because you're criticizing you're expressing your opinion?
And it's not me here. I'm not trying to speak for me what I think, but I'm just saying for the other people, I think they could try to find a way to twist it so they're saying, oh, you're against transgenders and therefore.
Right, but isn't that a concern?
It's a concern. Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, I'm more worried about people, I guess, taking advantage of that system or saying things that are, that are upsetting, whatever, or hate speech when they're not. Well, I see it going really that way.
Okay, well, how about I say flat earthers are all idiots? Is that hate speech?
Yeah.
Some might consider
flat earther. Yeah, to a flat earther it might be, right?
Exactly.
Oh, look at Steve, man. Steve's criticizing me because of my religious views.
Well, Tex was getting all pissy about it.
That's the problem, though. The problem is that we have people like this that are going to take things too far. So
exactly.
I just worry about the system, because even making this even a thing, I just don't like the fact that that people can take it that far. We can see a lot of.
It actually has a possible positive benefit, which is identifying people who are doing false flags.
Possibly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's one of the positive outcomes I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, you might get so many different false flags from so many people. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it's like they're a habitual false flagger, then maybe so. But if they just flag one thing or whatnot, because there's a lot of people that start to use YouTube more casually now.
Yeah.
And they might not even make content themselves. And then all it would take is just for them to be one or two of these casual people that just flag a video they disagree with. And then they have enough of these people, and then the video can be pulled down. By somebody.
They're what do they call them? Flagging. They have a group of people that go out and flag stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like people, or even people that aren't even trying to be flaggers, but just average everyday watchers that disagree or something, and they flag it still.
Mm-hmm.
I know not everybody does that, but it's something to think about. I don't know. It'd be a scary time for me to start a social commentary channel. I've thought about it many times.
Yeah, like I said, I am not too much into social commentary. I mean, it comes up every so often, but I just leave that for other people. Although I guess I am interested in it sometimes. There's a lot of stuff going on that I wouldn't mind talking about a little bit. We do every so often. You can't just be so isolated that you can never talk about certain things that come up. I mean, I know we don't like talking about with politics, and that's mostly because it's I hate Trump, I hate Hillary, that kind of crap. That's more than anything. But I mean, things like happening with North Korea, that's important to me. I don't mind talking about stuff like that because I think that is a very real threat. I know people are like, oh, North Korea, saber rattling, whatever. I'm sorry. I think you're wrong on that. I think North Korea is right now one of the leading threats to the stability of the planet. And if something needs to be done, there needs to be a resolution somehow. What that is, that's who knows, because we are very limited in our actions we could take, and they are trying to get, you know, the trifecta of strategic things. They want land, they want sea, they want air, they have submarines. So yeah, I don't mind talking about those things, because that's not necessarily politics. That's just stuff that's going on in the world, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I don't like talking about the deep politics stuff, like when it goes to, you know, are you this type of conservative or this type of liberal kind of thing. I'm more like the social issue stuff, because like it's tied to politics, but you don't have to go deep with it about like political ethics and all this.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I don't think you have to go too deep on some of this stuff to have at least a superficial discussion about it.
Right, like the deep politics stuff that bores me. So,
okay, but what about Sarkhan of Akkad? I mean, he goes deep.
Yeah, because I don't even watch.
That sounded a lot more dirty than I meant to, but
I don't even watch a lot of his content. So, to be honest,
I don't really either. But
some of it actually does bore me. Like again, there's only
it does. Like I've watched some of it and I kind of got put off of it, and I do find it a little long and drawn out.
Some things just get boring.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge fan of Sarkhan. No offense, I'm just not.
Right. But some of the things where it gets into social issues themselves, where it talks about how people should live and all that stuff, that's more my area.
But what happens with this policy, Todd? What about in regards to this policy? Is that hate speech? Because he's pretty controversial.
I don't know. I don't watch enough of his channel.
I don't think so. I think I think some of his views go too far, but not in a hate speech kind of too far. In a dude, you're seriously over.
Anita Sarkeesian said he was a hate speech person. He was a human garbage.
Don't get me started with her.
Right, I can't stand Anita Sarkeesian. We all know this. I think she's this scum, but to her, it's hate speech, right?
Well, yeah, but that's because she wants it to be. But that's a whole other discussion.
This is the problem with the whole YouTube system in the first place when it comes to what's
exactly
very subjective.
If you've got somebody who is not looking at things to see does this qualify, but is looking for hate speech, they're going to find it. You know, if you're not just seeing, you know, objectively looking, does this content apply based on the checklist I have? If you're looking for, I need to find something that fits this checklist I have, then they're going to find it.
Right.
Right. See, and that's the problem I have with the YouTube things. I feel like there will be enough people out there that are trying to look for it, and we could potentially.
And the worst thing is the people that are invested in finding that stuff are the people that are going to want to be involved in looking for it.
What about Deidre, Blake, Trarian, or Stuart? You guys have been awfully quiet, which is unusual for all three of you. So, did you guys want to add in?
I would like to see hate speech better defined, because it could be anything.
That was I think you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. That I think out of everything I read on that page, I know what terrorism is. I know how to define threats, but I don't know what they mean by hate speech. That to me is that catch-all, could mean anything, be interpreted in many different ways by many different people.
Hate speech could be the exclusivity of a religion. So like that could be Christianity saying everybody's going to hell that's not a Christian. Hate speech could be the mockery of an atheist, you know, and it's like, well, pick one. Like, you know, like to me, like hate speech is sort of like, hate speech would be all X group needs to die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
The world would be a better place if the Holocaust was successful. That kind of thing. That's
things that advocate for the violent nature.
Right.
Definitely, I think fall under hate speech. But if I just say, look at, you know, I hate Jews. That's not hate speech to me. It's really not. I mean, that's expression. No. I'm kidding. YouTube. I love Jews. So stop. It's FYI, if you're reviewing this, I love Jews.
Okay.
But
you just say sorry. Just say sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I think somebody should have a right to express their opinions, good, bad, or different, and let the media or the, in this case, you know, or the YouTube users, they are the police there. They're like, look, if you say something that goddamn stupid, let them suffer the ramifications for it, right? Because you can say what you want, but people do have a right to express themselves against that, and that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Did you get a new avatar, Christian Anarchist? Your hair growing long?
It's a gender bent avatar.
Ah, yeah. So it's a little androgynous there.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't know. Ever since you've been hanging out with Hunter Bailey, you
now.
have this new side to you I haven't seen. It's kind of fabulous.
What new side exactly?
Oh, he's like, it's been there all along.
I don't know what you're talking about exactly.
Don't judge, man. I don't judge.
What?
Oh, man.
I don't know what you're judging about because I don't know what you're talking about.
People like Hunter in general do that to you.
No, if anything, they would be the more feminine one in the relationship on that.
I don't know.
I'm the
General's
man of
pretty
the house.
masculine to me.
Hey, we all know it's true. I'm the man of the house.
Well, I mean, you all know it's true.
So Hunter's the woman?
Pretty much.
He's the catcher.
Yeah, no, whatever. You know.
Well, I mean, General also has like multiple wives. So I mean,
Yeah.
So what about you, Pilate Contrarian? Did you want to like weigh in?
Swing about it.
I just don't even see the. I mean, I guess YouTube can set whatever guidelines they want, but I think someone was mentioning earlier that they, preferred the hate speech to be more out in the open, so we can be aware of it.
Absolutely.
I kind of think that hate speech is free speech as long as you're not directly inciting violence or like actually threatening someone. Maybe like libel and stuff. I think there's all kinds of restrictions on that, but I kind of want to know who my enemies are. I don't want to push them underground and give them more reason to be angry. But like I said, YouTube can set the guidelines that they want. So now that they've put this in place, the real issue is the ill-defined nature of it. It's just going to be a bludgeon.
It's also when you bring things out into the light, they're a lot less frightening than they may appear.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm at a loss because I don't go around looking for these videos, right? I have not really seen extreme videos because I don't go out of my way to look for them. So I don't know what's really out there. I can get a general idea. I'm sure there's a lot of recruitment videos and a white racist propaganda crap. I'm sure YouTube's full of that shit. But I don't go out because I don't do any social commentary on it. I don't go out looking for that, so I don't know how bad it really probably is. And I'm sure it's pretty bad. And I understand advertisers don't want to advertise on that stuff, and that's why YouTube is doing this. Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, too, a lot of that content, and the article I was reading earlier today, they were saying a lot of that content is actually unlisted and disseminated through direct links on other social media. So they can't really monetize that anyway. So if they're impacting monetization, but their target censorship, for lack of a better word, doesn't tend to monetize their stuff, then how are they impacting them?
That's a good point. If it's unlisted and that's how they're doing it, then it really doesn't really make much of a difference because there's not a lot of videos that, like I said, I have not looked, so I don't know how many videos there are out there, and I'm not even going to bother to. I don't want to go check on that stuff. I don't even want to my search.
If people want, if people look for extreme content and really also don't come to YouTube, they go to someone like Reddit.
Or the dark web.
Yeah, that's another good point too. I've never been on the dark web. I don't use Tor. The deep web is fine, right? We all been on the deep web, but the dark web, I've read about that shit. I'm just not interested, right? I couldn't even imagine the horror stories. If any of those, even if one of those horror stories I've read is true, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I was curious to know about the dark web and just to see how long it would take and to purchase an illegal firearm. It took me about 6 minutes to find a place where I could do that.
Now,
anywhere in the world.
So if you do search for that stuff, do you feel though there's a concern that like there's Big Brother watching, or do you think they're only concerned if somebody actually makes the purchase?
No, they're watching. They'll be watching. They'll be
watching.
watching the metadata because that's the whole point of it. It's where you go, and now since Tor has become famous, and since we've actually now broken the encryption to it, it's not a place now where people do that kind of transaction. They go to other places.
So it's not as secure as it once was.
No. But
Bitcoin, but they use Bitcoin, right? And that is pretty secured, right? So so the financial transaction secured, but not the metadata of what's actually happening in the transaction.
The trouble is, it's the route you take to get there, and to then do the transacting, and then the route you take to come out. So what they're doing is they're tracking you going in, and they're tracking you coming out. And what they're doing is they're doing keyword analysis. So they're saying, now we've broken the hash value, we can actually now look at the underlying strings. We can kind of see where you're going. We already know where those sites are and what they're relating to because we've crawled it. And
so why do people take the chance then? Why do people do that?
Because
if they know they're going to be looking for a gun, and they know the FBI or wherever is going to be going, oh, okay, we have that site monitored. Are they just not? They can't be naive. I wouldn't even begin to know how to get on the Tor thing. I've looked into it to a point to just understand what the hell it is, but I could never probably set it up in any real quick time. But they obviously have the technical prowess to do it, so they're not idiots.
It's because there's only so many hours in the day that they can actually go and follow this stuff up.
It's also a cat and mouse game. I mean, they get better at obscuring it, and then they get better at cracking it, and it just keeps going back and forth.
Yeah. Now, I just read, was it last week, that I think it was the ATF or one of those organizations had taken over a couple of websites on the dark web that were selling weapons and whatnot. They publicly admitted to taking down one, which funneled everybody into another one, which they had actually also taken down, but didn't admit it and pretended to, transact commerce for a few days after all of the other people kind of funneled over to that one. And the article was saying how they busted a whole bunch of people and whatnot.
That's pretty smart, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't want to even take the chance. I like I said, I watched some video, and again, I don't know if these stories are true or not, but they were creepy. Seriously.
Oh, it's like the Craigslist story, though, Steve. It's the same sort of thing. I'm sure there's some bad stuff has happened, but I think a lot of it's kind of fairy tale stuff.
Maybe, but what?
Did you ever see that video I sent you about the transitional fossils of 2017?
I looked at a little bit. But
it's kind of funny because a lot of people will basically say that there's no transitional fossils, and that video basically blows that out of the water.
Well, that was a segue from hell. Yeah, I'm not sure how we got there. Hang on, let's go back a second. There's a lot, but as far as like the web, the deep web is just okay. We've all been in the deep web. That when we go into certain databases and stuff like that, that's fine. But there's a lot more in the deep web and the dark web than there ever is on the superficial web itself. Correct, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Which seems weird to me because the web is freaking huge. So what the hell could there be on the dark web that's so gargantuan that is that much? How many gun sites can you go to?
Well, the deep web is big.
Well, it depends. It depends how you define deep web, because where most of the data is
isolated databases for like references for Library of Congress is a deep web, is it not? Anytime you go into an isolated database or something like that, you log into something. FTP will go into deep web. Yeah.
But in that case, that means every insurance company, every police force.
Yeah, those are all deep web. Yeah, I consider that.
Yeah, there will be a lot more data in there than there will be on the internet.
Right, records and stuff like that. There's a lot of data in that stuff, right?
Logistics, metrics, statistics, database upon database upon database, production systems. Yeah, you name it.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time you log into your bank account, when you log into your bank account, that's deep web because it's not directly accessible.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. Patron for Sarton makes a good question. He says, this seems to be a step forward with the YouTube heroes. What are your thoughts on that? It may be, and yet YouTube heroes that wasn't the big issue. You know, the heroes didn't destroy YouTube, right? Matter of fact, you don't even hear anything about it anymore. I mean,
I was going to say, yeah, what happened to that?
I don't know. I don't know who's the heroes, right? It wasn't these massive flagging campaigns as we thought that was going to be concerned, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so maybe they did figure out how to do it properly. I don't know, but I'm not holding my breath.
or people are just not talking about it anymore for some reason.
Yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on it. I want to keep this video pretty short so people can easily digest this. I think we've gone over it. We put the information out there, so I want people to leave comments on what they think about this new tougher standards. I mentioned to Godless Cranium that I was going to do this video. I think he's busy, but hopefully he'll interject. I'd like to get his viewpoints because he has a video that just came out on this particular topic. It's called The Latest YouTube Controversy and More. Matter of fact, I will put it in the video description because I do like his channel. So if you haven't seen that yet, head over there and watch his video as well. But any of you guys have any last thoughts on this? Because I do want to wrap this up. If you guys want to continue this on the Great Debate Community channel or talk about something else, that's fine. I will have another hangout. I'm not going to have it today. I think we're going to have it tomorrow on what questions we would need to ask Dr. Fuzzrana and Bill Ludlow on the August 23rd debate. Or not, it's not a debate, it's a discussion. And there probably will be more people involved, but they want tough questions. Fuzz really wants strong questions relating to human evolution that's asked both of them and then going to get both of their viewpoints on it. And I think that's going to be a great hangout on that. But I need people that are really knowledgeable, like Joe Sonseed or RJ, Jade, Nestlig, whoever else. A lot of people are knowledgeable about human evolution to come up with really, really tough questions for both of them, I think. So I think I'm going to have that tomorrow.
Does it have to be human evolution, or can we just take a... Oh, damn, I was going to say the hippopotamus and the whale.
No, it's very specifically dealing with human lineage. Because RTB agrees with evolution up to a point. They just believe that at a certain point there's an ensoulment, and that obviously isn't accounted for. And they also believe that these other species, man itself, Homo sapiens, I don't think they believe that they evolved from Homo habilis or Homo, ergaster or whatever, the Homo hybridogensis, whatever the latest model is, because it has been moved around a little bit. But they don't think that we're really related to them. I think that we are a separate branch according to them, which obviously I vehemently disagree with. So, did I say that right? Yeah, whatever. You know me.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Sometimes my tongue doesn't work very well.
It's your Jewish heritage.
Yes, my Jewish heritage. Well, you weren't around back in the day, Druss, but back in the day, it was True Empiricism and G-Man and a few other people. They were accusing me of being an Orthodox Jew.
What?
Okay. And they said that I said I was an Orthodox Jew. Now some of you guys have known for a while. I've never said that. It just never has been said.
You're an Orthodox Jew from the dreidel to the grave.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say that. No, I've seen that before. I mean, I have done that on there. Dreidel. I made you out of clay. Dreidel, extra play. Something like that. I get, but I mean, I'm so far from an Orthodox Jew. I'm not even a cultural Jew. I just mentioned it because my mom's Jewish. Although my hair is trying to get that Jewish curl. Because my hair is really long. You guys see the picture? I mean, it's down to my shoulders, so it's got that Semitic curl, like for Ashkenazi Jew curl, I guess is it?
Yeah.
So I would make a good Jew. So, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I said, if you want to continue on the other channel, that's fine. Leave your comments in the video description on what you think about this YouTube thing. And I think with that, I'm going to be ending it. I'm going to give the last word to Stuart, because you've been awfully quiet. Stuart, do you want the last word?
Oh, man, I got nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing.
You heard it right here. He has nothing. All right, thanks for watching.
Usually I can produce, but I got nothing.
That's okay, man. It's okay. I only give one chance for the last word. That was epic. So I will see you later.